Hi everyone, welcome to the Prime Use series of interviews with top business and technology experts. I'm Dana Kohut, your host, and today I'm super delighted and excited to welcome my good friend Irina Petrus to the show. Irina is an amazing woman. She is HR business partner and corporate coach. She is also winner of Miss Transcontinental 2021. And she is, as many Ukrainian women, she is right now abroad. She left Ukraine when Russia invaded the country. She left with her young daughter, first to Poland, and now she is in the US. So I would like to build our conversation around Irina's experience of the war and her vision of the future for young professionals, Ukrainian professionals that were forced to leave the country. So Irina, thank you so much for making the time to join us today.
Hi, Dana. Hi, everyone who will hear us. And first of all, I would like to say that I'm very thankful to be here, especially in such a trusted channel and with such good people. And I hope that experience that I had, that I went through, would help someone. And if anything, if someone wants to reach out later, please do. We will leave contact, and we are very open to share even more information if needed. And if I may start, I would like to share that it took me a while, like two days. We left Ukraine on second day, and first I was not prepared, right? As every one of us, we did not think that it will happen in such a murder way. Second, those people who live in west part of Ukraine, I'm honestly talking about my own experience, but I never thought that it will get that far. And I remember when I woke up on Thursday morning under the bomb attack, and my husband is right there all dressed up, and it is 6:30 a.m. in the morning. And I was like, where does those noises come from? And he said, Ira, it is war. And I was like, what do you mean war? Are you crazy? And he's like, no, they are Russians came here and they are already destroying Lviv airports. They have occupied, like they in Kiev. And I look at my daughter who is still asleep, and I was like, what do I do? What do I tell? What do I say? It took me 2 days. It took me 2 days to think, how to plan the best. Because when all of us get into risky situation, people just, they don't do their best. They just do what they can. It's very difficult to advise at that moment. It's very difficult to have a very constructive conversation. And I remember when I would talk to my husband in the evening, he would say, Ira, if I may ask you to go with baby to a safe place, just please go. And I was like, no, I'm not leaving the house. We will better stay all together. And he's like, she's little. She will not understand what's going on. She's our daughter is almost 5 in May, and he was like, how will we explain her what's going on? Because it's difficult for us to understand, why is that so hard and difficult? Therefore, he made a very good statement. If I go to fight, if I go to defend, if I go to do something important for Ukraine, it is much easier for me to feel and to put all my power and all my bravery against that evil if I know that you're in a safe place. So that was a sentences that really made me feel like, I guess I have to consider something. So he's in a better position. Then I called my mom. And she's like, please run away. I have 2 of you. She said, I have 2 daughters, and at least if one is in safe place, I have less worry to go through. And I still had some doubts because it's difficult. You're with a little baby. Where do you go? You don't really, you're not sure where to go. And watching the news, what was going on at the border, I was like, well, it's very difficult to make it. But I really gave myself, a silent moment. I went to pray, and I understood. Sometimes for a big step, we have to do little steps in advance. And I was like, okay, Ira, what resources do you have? What languages do you speak? How can you help your country being somewhere abroad? Because I don't know how other people felt. What I read, they did go through same emotional experience, but I felt guilty badly. I remember that I would stay on the line to Poland, which is like an hour away from my home where we live, and we just bought a house like a week before war. And it's an hour to get to Polish border, and it took me 30 hours on Friday evening when I left to get through that border. So
Minutes?
30 hours,
30?
yes, 30, yes.
Wow, that's a really long queue. So tell me about that experience. So that's crazy. I know that's the closest border to Lviv, right, where you live. And so why 30 hours, and how can one possibly go through that line with a 5-year-old daughter?
So I had a friend whom we met through beauty pageant. She is national director of beauty pageants in Kiev, and she called me like a week before war, asking for advice where to go in Lviv, you know, for entertainment, where to stay, because she wanted to bring her child and her mom to explore and visit Lviv. And I was so excited. I was like, well, Alona, you know what? I'm buying a house. So I will finally have a place for guests to come. So please plan when you come to Lviv so that you can stay in my house. So I invited her. But we did not set a day yet. She's like, oh, okay, it might be, this date or that. I was like, don't worry. Whenever you're ready, just know that you have a place where to stay. So it appears that she calls me immediately on Thursday morning, February 21st, when war started. She was like, Ira, I am in Kiev and my building is shaking. Airport is destroyed. And she sends me videos, what is happening like right now there. It's not what you see on TV, but it's a video when you get a sense of what's going on right there. And she's like, I will try to escape. I will do my best. So she did run away to pick up her mom on the other side of Kiev. And that's how they made it to my house to Lviv. So she called me on Thursday morning and she made to my house Friday night. So it took them 18, 20 hours to get from Lviv, from Kiev to Lviv. And when she got to my house, they stayed overnight, and then her husband called her and pleased her on knees, like, Alona, please go further, please go, to Poland or whenever you can. And I was like, why is that so, so urgent? Like, what's going on? And he started to share even more videos because he stood there, he started to defend, and the reality was just shocking. I know that news, and we are very thankful to all US channels, all abroad channels that we are lucky to have. So they really shows the reality. But when you have a connection of someone, a good friend or relative, to show you what is happening right there at their apartment, at their area, it's just heartbreaking. And I was like, well, I guess there is no choice. Sometimes you have choices and you consider, and we got into situations where there were no choices. So we did wrap up very quickly. And she said, Ira, it's just God's plan, because I have only one place in my car where you and Polinka can come. So we all go together. And to tell you the truth, Dana, I guess that was, the best choice what I would make, because going through 30 hours, we would run out of gas because the car has to run all the time. 2 kids, it has to be warm, and so we would run to gas station. One of us would run to gas station and take a gallon of gas and bring it back, and then the other one would still keep going, because those kind of like, you go in the line like little by little. Sometimes I would feel like it's a centimeter, but as soon as you go out to gas station, you are not back to the same place. You are back online, at the back. Yes, it took us long, but it was not that bad. I was blessed. And I really had some time to think on the way, like, where do I go? Look up for some friends, text them, because I was getting many texts from different countries, from friends whom I know, like, please come to our house. And this video, if it's first of all to thank all of those people who raised their hand, who just gave the possibility to host us, to accept us, to give us the most needed. Because when you run away, what do you take? You take documents, you take the nearest food. And my daughter was crying to take, more toys. And I did allow her to take only one doll, because it's, we didn't know how far and where do we go. So very little suitcase, the most needed stuff. And apparently she really wanted to take a doll. Yes, she took it. It's important.
So did you have friends or family? So do you like, where did you go? So when you crossed the border after 30 hours, where did you end up in Poland?
While driving, I was like, okay, whom do you have in Poland? And I had some contacts from many years back when I was working towards my US visa, work and travel visa. And I went to pick up strawberries, gardening in Poland. So I have some contacts from that time. But within the time when I was driving, my mom found a very good contact in Warsaw from people that she worked many years back. And there was a man who is 88 years old, and he said, I will take them. I'll take them. I will host them. No problem. So we just got lucky to, to be there for free. He really, made a nice dinner when we arrived. But also we had an option at the border when people would ask you, like, what is your choice? What do you want to do? Do you want to apply for refugee status in Poland? Like, what is your goal? And it really gave me, a good thinking time. And like, I went to my thoughts and was like, okay, Ira, so what resources do you have? What language do you speak? What can you do? Is Poland, because Poland is offering a lot of help to Ukrainians, and I did not want to use that option because I knew that there are a lot of people on the back who might be, they're not that good in English, or they don't have friends in US. So we really had an idea that I will go to US because of resources that I have. I went to school here, I went to college here, I speak language, I have connections. So I said, I am going to go further. So I will apply for US visa here in States because my daughter does not have it. And I will leave refugee status for someone else who really wants to be in Poland. But that was very nice. When as soon as you cross the border, they ask you, like, what is your intent? How can we help? There were a lot of signs with people saying, like, okay, I can host you, I can host you. So I felt that options are there, that Poland really gave like the most, like Poland opened all the doors, all the possible doors. But me having a friend who can host us and having connections to move further, in Europe and then to US, made my choice that it will be a transition country, like for a couple of days. So I was in Poland only for first 7 days.
Like many people have felt so much support, specifically from Polish people, like millions of women with children left Ukraine to Poland, and there have never been, any refugee camps. All these people have been taken home, right? They stay with families, they have warm food, which is, incredible, right? When people are in stress, to feel welcomed, feel, like not worried, right, that you are sleeping outside with your child. So that is very important.
But when I got to Poland, I really had an intent to make it to US based on what I understood is that every single one of us have to do little step, and it does not mean that all of us have applied for the same. It does not mean that all of us have to volunteer. It does not mean that all of us have to defend, but there is a mission for every each of us, right? None of us been through classes at school or university how to go through war. Yes, we do learn history, but as all psychologists say, we cannot really learn that deeply unless we experience that, right? Like every lesson what we have in life, just going through our personal experience. Therefore, all of our diplomacy people, like every single person is learning right now. And so as soon as I got to Poland, I called US Embassy and they said, you can apply online, same program as everywhere, right? You apply online, you fill the forms, then you apply for appointment, or you can come and stay in a offline queue. You might get a chance to sneak in. So I looked online and there was a line for a US appointment for end of July. And I was like, oh my God, like, what do I do here by end of July, right? It's just too much. And I'm not fluent in Polish. And I would kill myself, like, with all those emotional struggles. Next day I went and I stood online, thinking maybe I can make it a bit faster going through, offline line, right? And I was with my daughter, Polina, who's right there in the back. So, it did not happen. So I came with Polina. I said, hey, I do need to apply for visa. So here's my status, and here's my visa. And they said, Ira, we do not have any specific program set yet. So you have to apply and go through regular process. And I was like, wow, it's like end of July. I cannot do it. Same time, I got very lucky. So I got home. First emotion was like you get a little bit, upset, and you get all those emotions when you're like, there is no easy procedure. How do I make it? And then I did take some spare time thinking, what else can I do? And in the morning, God sent me a person who's my friend from US, and he has a home and business in Mexico. And he was like, you know what? I have an idea. Why don't you come to Mexico? And then from Mexico, you can get a visa, because it might be that line in Mexico is easier. Like embassy is not that booked. I was like, that could be a good idea. Why not?
You several times you mentioned about this kind of feeling of guilt. And that is, that is maybe not so many people will understand this. Why would you, living in a country that is being invaded by troops that are there to kill, bombard, right, that are ruining cities, and when you leave your home to save your child, save your life, why would one have a feeling of guilt? So where is it coming from?
I got it. So what I call it might be personality type, right? It might be my personal experience that I would like to share. On one hand, you have feelings. You are Ukrainian, you are proud Ukrainian, and I'm the one who grew up on World War II stories from my grandfather who went through it. And, every single moment that he would have, he would really go through all those experiences that he had in war. So those like nationality and Ukrainian kind of like emotions were really in my blood. I mean, like very proud of being Ukrainian, maybe being there next to your husband, maybe do more, maybe volunteer, those kind of feelings. But then when you had to choose between kind of like, sorry to say, death and life, you really pick for life, but because you have a little one to care, right? I don't know what I would do if I'm by myself. Tell you the truth, I don't know. I did not go through that experience. But having a little baby and took me to a different position. I really decided to go. But that a little bit of guilt of being Ukrainians, maybe I would do more there. Maybe my husband needs me. Maybe I could do something else. It is my personality. As soon as I go to some jobs, I also feel like, oh, maybe I should do it a little bit more. Or kind of like I went through beauty pageant and I won. It's like, well, could you better? Might be my own personality, but what I read online, a lot of people felt guilt also for leaving the country. And I tell them, like, we did choose between death and life. We went for life. We have little kids. We will be back. I mean, I love my house that I just bought. I love the business that I do. I love my country. I had a chance to be in US 10 years back. I love that country. I love the language. I love people. And, but I really made my choice to be back home. Therefore, I kind of like had that guilt, but now step by step, I understand my mission here. When people call me for, TV interviews, or when they really want to see a real person example. I don't know how is that about you, but when we watch news, remember like when Syria went through war, when we watched Afghanistan, like different situation in Georgia. So you are getting hurted because of what you see. But you are not going through same experience as you go when you have your like friend or person you've met in person. So I understood that me being here and to share real story, to share real picture what's going on, it's also part of mission.
You did a great job. You did the right job, right? Protecting yourself and protecting your daughter. And as you said at the very beginning of our conversation, that's also easier for your husband to stay home and knowing that you are safe and Polina is safe. So you shouldn't feel guilty at all. Yeah. So yeah.
Working on it.
Yeah. Yeah, so you said that you actually plan to go back home to Lviv. You have bought a home there. I know you have also a nice apartment where I once been. You've done, a beautiful place. You've got a beautiful place. So you plan to go back, but while the country is still being torn, by war. What are your plans and how worried are you about what might happen next?
Well, at one hand, I understand, and we all know, based on history, that none of the wars ended that quickly, like big wars, right? And this one has evolved like many countries now. It is happening very badly in Ukraine, but it touches many countries now. So I kind of like have feelings, right? What will happen, what I do want to do, that I miss home, I miss my husband, and I miss real being there. But there is also a reality, right? There is a reality that cities are destroyed, and from my perspective, if I am able to work here, to make money, to go on TV and talk about Ukrainian situation, to really show that with this experience, even it is very bad for Ukrainians, we can build a new reality. Why should I lose it then, right? If God said that plan that I make such an easy way to go to US, I will take that and I will do my best. So my plan is now, that's what I would really wish for, right? To help Polinka to apply for at least kindergarten for a couple of months. And I'm honest right away up front that I don't know for how long is that. When situation is safe for me to be back home and to continue a normal life, um, I'm done. I want to be back home and I really like miss my family. And for me, when she's in kindergarten, I can do more. I can be productive. I can apply for jobs. I do coaching online. But as you saw, right, I told her like it's an hour with no interruption, but still kids. They want, interact, they want to play. And I really want her to be back to normal life, having schedule, like doing stuff. And US is offering that. When I crossed the border from Mexico to US, they asked me, would you like to have a refugee status? I was like, thank you, but no. My choice was I really wanted to have visa for her because I really had a good history with US visa. And I asked her like, are there any chances that we can stay under, safe sky here? I can be on my own visa and, my daughter can get like entrance for a little while. So they gave us humanitarian patrol, where she is allowed to go to kindergarten here for free, which kind of like helps me a lot. When your child is busy in kindergarten, she can learn language for a little bit, and she kind of has this normal routine, because otherwise, I don't know how is that in different homes, but we have Ukrainian news all day long. Like just now, we had our president Zelensky talking to US Parliament, and we just watched it in reality what is happening, like live. I'm sure that in Ukraine you will either watch it on TV sometime later, but we just watched how is that in reality, and all days, all single day, we watched a lot of news. Therefore, it's very good for her to be, interacting with kids and have normal life, because those are the kids that will rebuild Ukraine. I know that we will be back and we'll be working towards that, but to build that strong nation and back, it will take time. And I really want her to be, to grow as proud Ukrainian and have normal life. So when she's back, she can keep going.
Yeah, that's a great plan, actually. I love it. And I love how strong you are and about your plans about going back, having normal life, right? Returning. I believe for many Ukrainians, also for me, we are not afraid of cities turned into rubbles, right? Totally destroyed, because it's something that can be rebuilt. We are afraid about lost lives.
It's personality, it's your soul, but it's always good to be surrounded with relatives and to have your normal life to be back. So that's what we all hope for, pray for, and we don't know yet when we will be back. It's reality. And I told my daughter, like, she's crying for my husband and for her dad every day. But I told her, I cannot promise you that it'll be a week, 2 months, or like more, but we will be back home. It's times that we continue life here, but because of the mission and how we do it, but we want to be back home.
Yeah, to totally understand you. My kids were asking, if you ask Irina if she took Buddy with her, did you take your dog?
We did not. And we miss him a lot. The house that we bought was already with a dog, so people were trying to move away. So we got like two dogs now. Yeah, we have Dina and we have Buddy, and Buddy is just he got a new friend. He does not want to be in a house anymore. He shows that he's mature. So they play outside together. And it's very good experience for him because two of them. And right before war, I kind of like took a rabbit home and I took a cat because people were running away and we live close to the border. So I'll just be accepting. So now my husband is, making jokes of me that I brought all of those animals so he can stay busy because he also goes to run humanitarian help, sort the driver back, so stays with their mission. But on other hand, he has a full house of animals to take care of. So little mission for every one of us, but for sure we miss our dog.
God.
We miss our life.
Exactly. Yeah, that you left behind. Yeah, and I hope that the war will end soon for all of us. We will be able to get back to, as you said, to normal life, right? To rebuild our lives, to rebuild our cities, our country, and at the same time become stronger, right? And emotionally, and also stronger as a country and as a nation that is united.
Life will not be the same as it was before. I mean, all of us got stronger, even going through such a deep hurting experience. I totally impressed how world got united. I don't want to say any names, but I guess someone who started it did not think that it will turn to such United Nations experience. And that's what we're seeing now. And I'm very thankful for all those people who host Ukrainians. We would do the same. A lot of people tell me like, Ira, we could read in your eyes that you would do the same. For sure, we will do the same. I mean, people don't have any other choice. They are striving for life. And that's what I want to end my message with. Like, please accept that we are so grateful. We are so thankful for every single country who opens the door and who helps Ukrainians and who help us with everything what we get. It means a lot. It does mean a lot. Not us and not our kids will forget it. It's just life lasting history, very hurting moment for all of us.
That's so true, Irena. Thank you so much for making the time to share your personal story, right? The story of your family, how you had to run away from your homes with your young daughter, right? Flee to several countries to make it to safety. It's been so nice. We've been in touch in Lviv, and I missed it, right? We would. So it's really nice opportunity to catch up with you, to see that you're doing fine, to see Polinka, and to know that all of you are doing great. And I hope that we will be able to get back to our homes and reconnect live after the war is over.
Yeah, let's hope and pray for that. And thank you so much for inviting me here.